I realized that life is beyond just making money. And then I looked at life now, and I look at 5 pillars, which is mental, emotional pillar. Then there's a physical pillar, health. And then you have spiritual pillar, you have financial pillar, which is money, and then the social pillar. So if I have to ask you, how do you rate yourself in these pillars, starting from the first one on the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest? So let's talk one by one.
Sure.
Finances and the relationship, how would you rate yourself in these?
Finances has gone up and down and a lot stronger the last few years, thankfully. But that's also been attuned to what we were talking about earlier about disc personality. So I think, when I was in my 20s, I was a very safe person. I was a very safe, let's save, let's grow, and then my 30s was all about the company growth. And with the company growth, I took a lot of risks, and when you start taking risks, not all of them make the most sense. Some don't work out. So I learned some important lessons in that process. And because of those lessons, I would say that I'm now thankfully learned my lessons and I'm back to strength. So, I think like most people, you go through a journey, you live and learn. And thankfully now, things are strong, business is doing well. And I understand more about the power of money and the power of finance and also just, understanding more about how to make it work for you as well, which I think is something you don't when you're younger. So, yeah.
That's finances. Wonderful. And relationship, social.
So
your romantic relationship as well as your family or society, all the relationship in that. So how would you rate yourself?
Very high. So I would say relationships for me is one of the strongest pillars in my life and one of the strongest areas that I think anybody should focus on because it solves most of your other pillars, is what I feel. Like if you have strong relationships, they're the people you call on and they're there for you when you're having challenges everywhere else. And coming back to, again, I know we started with me having lower times in my life or even the example I gave about jumping into entrepreneurship, it all started to resolve itself once I joined a networking community. So I think people who know me know that I'm very involved in the world of BNI. I'm a regional director now after being a member for 10 years. And I honestly can credit that organization with some of the best support that I've had personally and professionally. And I think I tell people that BNI is like school for adults. It's like you've outgrown school, but you're kind of missing that component in your life. And when you see people on a regular basis, you build very different relationships with them and from all walks of life as well, which I think is interesting. So because of that experience, it's taught me to be more open to new people and also just really understand the philosophy is giver's gain. The more you put out there, the more you give, and it all ultimately comes back around. So I think I'd like to believe that that's one that is probably my strongest.
That's amazing.
Ultimately, what you're seeking is freedom to fully become who you are meant to become and fully live the way you're supposed to live.
Something was suppressing me.
I started working on myself, but the progress was at the snail speed.
I was like very much fearful.
Whenever I think about leaving my job, I'm not able to take that decision.
We all have this Yodha, the warrior within us. That is the personality that you already have within you, and you have to bring it out. You have to have the truth. You have to speak when it's required.
I cried after this session almost after good 30-40 years.
I think I spent most of yesterday crying. When you connect with your heart in a safe space with people who are on the same journey, I think it's an incredibly powerful thing to do.
I feel I have won all the fears and I'm the king of my own kingdom.
Now onwards, I am a warrior wherever I want. I want to speak, definitely I will speak.
I will do what I need to do and let the universe decide the result. Let it flow.
From now onwards, I'll be taking massive actions and no excuses at all.
More than business, now I have the self-satisfaction of serving the community. The respect which I lost everywhere, even within my family, I'm able to regain the same.
I can say I came with a very huge burden, but end of the day I can say I'm going as a new version of me.